Hi guys, this is Keilah Joy. Welcome to my channel. Susanna Wesley said, "I am content to fill a little space if God be glorified." When I heard that quote the other day, it really inspired me. How often do we look to the big needs of the heart and of the home and feel genuinely like they're the most important? But it's often these little moments, the little things here and there that build on top of the other and create a beautiful life. The other day, I got my notebook out and I started writing down some things I wanted to add to our menu that week, and also some things that I needed to get done around the house. And I realized I kept writing and realized I had really become neglectful in a lot of areas in our home. My dad always says that life is 80% maintenance, and he's so right. I started with the puzzle cupboard. I knew this would be a great thing to start with because if I could get it started, then Charlotte would have no problem finishing it up for me. Some of the puzzles I didn't complete because I knew she would want to do that later on. A lot of the little puzzles I just completed and organized them. Then while Charlotte finished up for me, I moved on to the craft cupboard. Honestly, this one kind of always looks like this. Even after I organize it, it always tends to get back to semi-chaos. You know, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it talks about there being a season for everything under the sun. Later on in the chapter, starting at verse 11, it says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I perceive that there is nothing better for them to be than joyful and to do good as long as they live. Also that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. This is God's gift to man. I perceive that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken from it. God has done it so that the people fear before him." I feel like anything that encourages me in these hard little years is just a nugget of gold, and what a treasure to read. I finished cleaning up this cupboard, and as a fun reward, I had actually already purchased some new gel pens and markers because the ones that we were currently using were pretty much dead. I think we were down to 3 or 4 markers, and I honestly don't think any of the gel pens were working anymore. Next, I moved on to the TV area. I dusted and wiped and cleaned everything that I could see, and it's crazy how dirty everything gets. But white is so easy to keep clean. Most people think that it's hard to keep white things clean with little kids, but I think honestly it's just easier to keep clean with little kids. I tend to think that I can get a lot more done during the day than I actually can. I do not schedule in nap times and eating and preparing food and fighting and teachable moments or child training. I tend to think I could just get it all done, but I don't. So this took a lot longer than I thought, spanning over a few days, but we got most of her done. Psalm 28:7, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. In him my heart trusts, and I am helped. My heart exults, and with my song I give thanks to him." A new day, another chance to knock off some more of this giant to-do list. I definitely started some worship music, and I chose the task that I did not want to do, and that was cleaning our trash area. I love this trash drawer. It is one of my favorite things about this house, but a lot of garbage falls out behind that drawer, and it is just nasty. It has been needing to be deep cleaned for a long time. Got that tackled. Feels so good. The quote I mentioned at the beginning of this video by Susanna Wesley, "I am content to fill a little space if God be glorified." I need that on a pillow or something on my wall because that is just beautiful. She lived in the late 1600s, early 1700s, and though our lives are very different, we are both mothers raising children for the glory of God. I think it's a lie from the enemy to keep us distracted from wanting to deal with those bigger home issues. Big issues are important, but little ones are too. My husband and I both read Craig Groeschel's book called The Power to Change recently, and in it he says, God has not called you to be important. God has called you to be faithful. And how about being faithful in these little things? Not just faithful with obviously the huge job of raising souls that will live forever. That's a huge one, but being faithful in the little things that contribute to that, like allowing yourself to be disrupted from what you're doing to attend to them, being faithful in training and discipline, being present, speaking God's truth in your home. And even household things can really add up, as I found by writing this list. Not putting away the tea or the coffee the correct way every time results in a disaster of a cupboard that I do not want anyone to see. Or at night when I've been trying to do my nightly load of laundry, and sometimes it'll just be half a load, and I hear my flesh say, "It's okay, Keilah, no one will know. Like, it doesn't even matter that you do this load or not tonight." But I remind myself, no, Keilah, be faithful in the little loads of laundry. I had an all white table and it really needed a good scrub down. My two youngest were napping, so we opened the door, let some fresh air in, and my oldest and I started scrubbing. We had sweet conversations, talking about silly and real things. I'm trying to balance between teaching her how to do the job correctly, but also letting her explore and try to figure out how to do it on her own. Both are valuable, but I know her just doing a project with me is inspiring her too. Ephesians 6:12, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. You can't really tell, but a bee came in the house, so that scared us a little bit. I did not get it as clean as I wanted to. I think I'm gonna need some more powerful scrubbing tools, but I'm grateful it feels refreshed, it looks good, and it is ready to serve our family as we eat, as we do crafts and schooling and live. As I cross another item off from this giant to-do list, I remember to do it unto the Lord. Lord, help me to tidy this home as worship unto you. Luke 16:10, one who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much, and one who is dishonest in very little is also dishonest in much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing. See you next time.